Value of Brahmacharya continued. Last part, the fruit of Brahmacharya. Learning about the fruit of Brahmacharya helps us to live a pure life. Brahmacharya awakens the faculty of intuition, whose spiritual power lies latent within us. In its broadest sense, Brahmacharya means the spiritual life. Sri Ramakrishna says that a brahmachari can realize God with the help of his penetrating mind. If a man practices absolute brahmacharya for 12 years, the Medha Nadi, the nerve of intelligence, will open. That is, his power of understanding will blossom. His understanding will become capable of penetrating and comprehending the subtlest ideas. With such an understanding, man can realize God. God can be attained only through a purified understanding of this type. Swamiji says, by the observance of Brahmacharya, all learning can be mastered in a very short time. One has an unfailing memory of what one hears or knows but once. सिर्फ एक बार सुन के चीज़ें याद रह सकती हैं. Swamiji also says that God realization is the fruit of brahmacharya. That power may come to all. That power comes to him who observes unbroken brahmacharya for a period of 12 years with the sole object of realizing God. I have practiced that kind of brahmacharya myself, and so a screen has been removed, as it were, from my brain. For that reason, I need not any more think over or prepare myself for any lectures on such a subtle subject as philosophy. It is not any power which is exclusively my own. Whoever will practice unbroken brahmacharya for 12 years will surely have it. If you do so, you too will get it. Our Shastras do not say that only such and such a person will get it and not others. Swamiji assures us that in its advanced stages, Brahmacharya transforms the entire being. Complete continence gives great intellectual and spiritual power. The brahmachari must be sexually pure in thought, word, and deed. Lose regard for the body, get rid of the body consciousness of it so far as possible. Controlled desire leads to the highest result. Transform the sexual energy into the spiritual energy, but do not emasculate, because that is throwing away the power. The stronger this force, the more can be done with it. The more can be done with it. Only a powerful current of water can do hydraulic mining. The chaste brain has tremendous energy and gigantic willpower. Without chastity, there can be no spiritual strength. Continence gives wonderful control over mankind. The spiritual leaders of men have been very continent, and this is what gave them power. Therefore, the yogi must be continent. The purified mind, flooded with spiritual ideas, easily lifts the wheel of ignorance. Swamiji makes an important distinction. Whatever a man knows should, in strict psychological language, be what he discovers or unveils. What a man learns is really what he discovers by taking the cover off his soul. Through the combined practice of continence, mental discipline, spiritual study, and meditation, the pure radiance of the immortal soul or Atma is uncovered. Great mystics of the world have always assigned the greatest significance to chastity and have occasionally admitted its difficulties. Saint Augustine used to pray, give me chastity and continence, only not yet. Brother Giles, one of the foremost disciples of Saint Francis, taught that chastity is a primary pristine virtue. Amongst all other virtues, I would set the virtue of chastity first, because sweet chastity contains all perfection in itself, but there is no other virtue which can ever be perfect without chastity. chastity truth is in strict truth the careful and continual custody of our corporeal and spiritual senses, in order to preserve them pure and immaculate for God alone. Every vice troubles and obscures the fair glory of chastity, for it is like a bright mirror which is clouded and darkened, not only by contact with impure and defiling things, but by the mere breath of man. It is impossible for man to attain any spiritual grace so long as he is inclined to carnal concupiscence, and therefore, whithersoever thou turnest thyself, thou shalt never be able to attain to spiritual grace until thou canst master all the vices of the flesh. Therefore, fight valiantly against thy frail and sensual flesh, thine own worst enemy, which wages war against thee day and night. And know that he who shall overcome this mortal enemy of ours has most certainly defeated and discomfited all his other enemies, and shall attain to spiritual grace and every degree of virtue and perfection. The perfect Brahmachari demonstrates purity, equanimity, contentment, peacefulness, steadfastness, cheerfulness, sweetness, self restraint, health, and above all, that purified understanding that upholds society. Lifelong Brahmacharya, obedience to the spiritual instructions of God, the Guru, and faith in oneself impart spiritual excellence and fullness to others. Thank you so much.